Oh, I just almost knocked my drink over. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel where I cover nostalgic, obscure, or otherwise strange content. Today, I'm in a Minecraft hoodie, and my brother wanted me to make it very clear that I don't actually play Minecraft. I just wear the hoodie because it's soft and fleecy. And he wanted me to make that very clear as an avid Minecraft fan himself. I don't play Minecraft. Today we're looking at a movie that was suggested by a lovely, lovely viewer of the channel. I think she says her username is C3PO, but she was awesome. She suggested that we cover Casper, the 1995 movie. They made a few of them, but the first one came out in 95. And you all remember Casper, right? It was like a really, really, really old cartoon, and then there were a bunch of movies made in the 90s. This is the first one of them. I had not seen this movie since I was about 8, I think, and the only thing I remembered was something about a baseball glove. Not to give any spoilers away, but this whole movie's gonna be spoiled, so if you don't want me to spoil a mid-90s children's movie, tune out now. But yeah, there's a lot of movie to cover, so let's just get into it. So the movie starts off with these two boys. They're trying to get a picture from inside this house, because it's like the haunted house on the block. You know those houses that everybody has on their street that are clearly haunted? They're trying to get a picture of one of those to like win some kind of dare. They get in very easily. I love that somebody like padlocks this gate into the next century, but then like left enough space for somebody to crawl under. Very poor planning on their part. And also they didn't lock the front door. The front door is apparently wide open because they walk right in.
Do we have to do this? Hey, you want everyone in school to think we're chicken? I could live with that.
Yeah, we might die, but the kids at school think we're badass. So they're arguing over who has to take the picture, and then Casper pops out and he's like, I'll take the picture, please be my friend, I'm very lonely and I want friends. And they go running off, which is very rude of them, and that's the opening scene of the movie. So now we begin on the main plot of the movie. This lady, her rich dad died, and he decided to leave literally all of his money to animal charities and left nothing to her.
To hell with the livestock. What did the old stiff leave me?
Whipstaff Manor in Maine.
So she's very upset about it. The only thing he left her was this huge multi-million-dollar historic mansion. Poor kid. And she throws the deed in the fire, and then magically, definitely not for plot reasons at all, a message in invisible ink just appears without burning it. It's very convenient.
Buccaneers and buried gold, Whipstaff doth a treasure hold.
I think I need a doctor.
Oh, there's plenty of names.
Yeah, I have to concede, I'm from Maine, there are a lot of doctors in Maine. There's a lot of trees, and a lot of deer, and a lot of maple syrup. Not a lot of moose, though. Everybody thinks there's just moose roaming around the highways of Maine. There aren't. Was I talking about? Oh yeah, the Casper movie. Let's keep watching. I don't know why he had to wipe off the windshield with his broken hand when she was actively using the windshield wipers. I don't think the windshield wipers are doing their job. Hey guys, I'm cutting in real quick to tell you a little behind-the-scenes fun fact about how I make these videos. I film my audio by hooking my Rode mic up to a Tascam. And then the Tascam doubles as a time readout so that I can see how long I've been filming for. And not too long into filming the video, I realized that I could not see the Tascam readout, so I had no idea how long I'd been filming for. So I shifted the bag that it kind of sits in while I'm recording, and did not realize that you could totally see it in the shot after I did that. So from this point on, you're gonna see that little bag in the bottom left corner. Now don't say anything mean about it, because you don't want to hurt its feelings or anything, but just so you know, that's there. And that's what it is. Returning to the movie now.
Hey! Oi!
God, this might be the only 90s movie that makes me feel bad for a lawyer. Jeez.
Hello?
Huh? Show yourself!
Here's the thing. If I do, don't scream, okay? I get that a lot.
Don't you dare hurt his feelings.
Hi! I'm Casper!
Ghosts are people too. Although I can't say that I 100% blame them, because if it was me, the first thing I would do after seeing that would be to... Yeah, that. I would do exactly that. Just like hose the building down with holy water.
Well, how did it go?
Yeah, it looks like it went great.
Who you gonna call?
Ghostbusters.
Someone else.
Oh. Never mind.
Dibs, I have huffed and puffed. Now I want to rip this place down. I want my treasure. They can't haunt a pile of rubble, for Christ's sake.
I think ghosts can haunt whatever they want, to be fair. So they scare everybody away, and poor Casper's just like, I just want a friend. And then he's watching TV the next night.
Did you ever feel the way Priscilla Cow felt? That you'd like to be completely different?
Does anybody else just get overwhelmed with emotion when they see Mr. Rogers? But then he's flipping channels and he gets to a news story about this guy that is a ghost shrink. He is a therapist to the deceased, or as he likes to call it,
The living impaired.
the living impaired.
After the sudden, unexpected death of his wife Amelia, Dr. Harvey gave up conventional psychiatry.
Yeah, so his wife died, and now he's obsessed with ghosts until he can find her ghost, and the press are really interested in him, and they stalk his daughter, who's still a child. It's very creepy.
Do you believe in ghosts? Have you ever seen one? Did your father ever hurt you in any way?
Jeez, dude. Chill. But Casper thinks that the daughter, Kat, is very cute. So he uses his ghost powers to magically pipe the commercial into this lady's hotel so that she'll think to call this guy. Questionable pretenses, but you know.
This week they're in Santa Fe, but next week, who knows?
Get me Santa Fe.
I don't think that's how you locate a person. I don't think you can just call the town that they're gonna be in and just magically find them, but okay. It works somehow because the therapist and his daughter are now headed to this house in Maine to set up camp there for a little while until he can help the ghosts cross over. And then the therapist and his daughter kind of have that classic 90s parent-child conversation where the kid's like, I'm tired of moving, and the parent's like, well, I have to work, honey. You know how it is. And the kid's just like, but you promised you wouldn't work so much. And the parent's just like, okay, well, if this one goes well, we don't have to move around anymore. You don't have to go to like 3 different schools every year or something.
There's no such thing as ghosts.
I love how she says she doesn't believe in ghosts, and he like pulls off to the side of the road like, okay, honey, we need to talk now. They agree to hopefully do their best to make this stop the last stop, and then they take off driving, and they've been driving in the wrong direction this whole time apparently, so they turn around. Funny little detail. So they meet the owner of the estate and her lawyer from before. They're very much up in Kat's personal bubble.
How nice to meet you, Kat.
Very nice to meet you.
Like, you should really ask before you get so close to somebody. Good lord. They tell him that he doesn't really have a lot of time to get these ghosts out of the house. They're gonna kick him out after a couple of weeks, apparently. And then they write him a check that we learn later they never really cash.
Until Miss Crittenden pays me, that thing is pretty worthless.
And just fling some flowers at him and leave. They don't come back for a while.
These are for you.
Yeah, you know those customary ghost therapist flowers you're always expected to give to the therapists exorcising ghosts out of your house? So Casper's up in his room practicing what he's gonna say. It's not going very well.
Sup, give me 4. Oh, God, I'd kill for a pinky.
Pinkies aren't really all they're cracked up to be. You can have bigger goals, Casper. It's okay. So Kat goes looking for a room to set up her stuff in for the time being, and she ends up picking Casper's room, which leads to some kind of low-key creepy actions from Casper. No, Casper, You gotta like ask for permission before you get up in somebody's space. I just said this. But then he scares her, and she passes out, and he revives her by filling his ghost self with water and then wringing himself out. There had to have been a less weird way to do that.
What are you saying?
I saw a ghost.
Honey, no, maybe...
Dad, please.
He's a little skeptical for somebody in his line of work. She's like, I saw a ghost. And he's like, are you sure? I know that's the whole reason we came out here, but like, come on. You sure?
Pleasure to meet you, sir.
Again, very big reaction for somebody in his line of work. Is this the first ghost he's ever seen? Has he just been pretending to be a ghost therapist this whole time? And then the three annoying ghosts. You remember the three annoying ghosts? There was like Casper the nice ghost, and then the three like really just super annoying ghosts. They show up. Winky, Blinky, and Stinky. I don't remember what their names were. And Casper tries to keep them out of the house, but they just kind of bulldoze him. They're very much bullies to Casper. They're very mean to him. And so they go into the house and start giving the dad trouble.
Hey, Fatso, you smell something?
Yeah.
No, besides him.
Ouch.
I would like to approach you.
See, Casper, that's what you should do. You ask before you, like, enter somebody's personal space. It's the polite thing to do. It's the respectful thing to do. Real talk. I know I'm talking about, like, a fun little kids movie, but, like, ask for permission, people. Get somebody's consent before you get all up in their bubble. So the dad passes out, and while he's passed out, the three bad ghosts go into his mouth. And then this happens, which is very strange. Ooh, that reminds me, I should cover the Crypt Keeper in future episodes. Do you guys want to see Crypt Keeper episodes? Because I can do a ton of those. So they push him down the stairs. I'll never understand getting pushed down the stairs in movies because either they make it look like the most deadly thing in the world, or like in this case, they just make it look like it can happen to you and you don't even get a scratch on you. But to make a long, goofy action sequence short, he sucks them up in the vacuum cleaner and they're trapped there for a while. I don't know why they could go in and out of a human body with no problem, but they can't get out of a vacuum cleaner, but that's the way it is. And now the whole family's paranoid. They're just both walking around with, like, dustbusters, clearing every room before they go in.
What are you made of? Well, you know that tingling feeling when your foot falls asleep? I think I'm made of that.
Oh god, I'm so sorry for you. That sounds excruciatingly painful. So Casper makes Cat breakfast. He's trying to, like, win her over. He's trying very hard. The poor dad's already completely dead inside. He's just like, well, I guess this is my life now. They tell you about this kind of stuff in ghost therapy school, but you never really are prepared for it, are you? But then the three bad ghosts show up again. They're annoying and gross some more. They bully Casper some more.
I feel like Oprah on hiatus.
You look like Oprah on hiatus.
Uh-oh. Nope. Very mean. And then the dad is, like, trying to get them to, like, do therapy with him so they can cross over. And Cat's not having any of it.
Drop dead!
Yeah, you did kind of walk right into that one, Cat. You set it right up for him. So now Cat goes to school. She very clearly has a crush on this one boy, but there's the mean girl who's just mean to her for no reason, even though it's literally her first day. She has no reason not to like her.
The asbestos removal from the gym is taking a little longer than planned, so we're gonna have to push back the Halloween dance just by a couple of months.
So you want to have the Halloween dance at Christmas? Also, for those of you keeping track, if you've been following along with our Halloween movie escapades on this channel, the Halloween dance 100% counts as our harvest festival for this movie, because there's always one.
I'd like you all to meet Harvey Kathleen.
Oh, poor Cat. Middle school sucks.
Why don't you tell us something special about yourself, Kathleen?
So you did know her real name.
This girl has a seriously, seriously creepy house with room to spare.
So the whole school finds out that she's living in this supposedly haunted old mansion, and then the whole class just invites themselves to have their party on Halloween at her house.
Whipstaff?
Yeah! Poor kid. Oh, and then they all get up to run out, and Casper has, like, tied their shoelaces together as an act of revenge because they were making fun of her, and so they all fall. And that feels like justice, because they were making fun of Cat. So back at the house, the three annoying ghosts, they're just kind of raising all hell, and the dad's just trying to rein him in, and they start talking about his dead wife, and they're like, hey, we could contact her for you.
My man!
Nice. Make fun of somebody with a dead wife. Comedy gold. So the kid that she has a crush on comes to ask her to the dance, And she says yes, and then it turns out immediately that the mean girl set him up to do that just to, like, humiliate her, I guess. Not cool. And Casper's like, please, pretty please, can I go to the dance with you? And she's like, you're not alive, dude. You're a ghost, which really shouldn't bar you from going to the dance. You should get to go to the dance regardless of what stage of life or the afterlife you're in. You shouldn't be excluded. That's just not fair.
What's this Vic guy got that I don't, huh?
A pulse?
Big fleshy deal.
A tan?
Very bad for your skin.
How about a reflection?
I just so badly want to go onto, like, Tinder or some other dating app and just be, like, looking for a man with a pulse, a tan, and a reflection. That's a bio right there. Casper, oh my god, stop. But he takes her out to this spot by the water, and they're chilling out there, and he mentions, well, she mentions something about asking about his life before he died, and he's just like, oh, I don't remember. And she's like, you have to remember something about your entire life. And he's like, nah, ghosts don't remember shit.
I don't remember. You don't remember anything from your life? If my mom's a ghost, did she forget about me? No. She'd never forget you.
I mean, you did just say that ghosts don't remember stuff, so, like, I know you're trying to make her feel better, but I don't know if you can backpedal out of this one, you know?
Can I keep you?
Aww, I'm trying to decide if that's cute or creepy. I'm leaning towards cute, but I'm still kind of on the fence, you know? So, Kat tells her dad that she has a date to the Halloween party. They have a very awkward conversation.
Maybe it's time that we sat down and we...
It's a little late for that, Dad.
How late?
Oh, don't worry, not that late.
And then she leaves for school, and he tries to pour his coffee, and the annoying ghosts just kind of take his coffee away from him. It's very sad for him. So the dad's kind of having a mental breakdown, so the ghosts, they try to take matters into their own hands. Meanwhile, Kat has found all of Casper's old stuff from when he was alive, and she sets it all up to help him remember. And then he lets her borrow his mom's old dress to wear to the party. And then this is like a really sad part. Now we learn about how Casper died.
Got late. Got dark. Got cold. And I got sick.
I remember bawling my eyes out when I was a kid watching this. I was very distressed.
I didn't go where I was supposed to go. I just stayed behind so my dad wouldn't be lonely.
It's very sad for a little kid's movie. Like, the tone shifts from, like, goofy to, like, really, really heartbreaking in, like, no time at all. But then we find out that Casper's dad was an inventor, and he apparently claimed to have built a machine that he called the Lazarus, which was meant to bring ghosts back to life. So Casper and Kat go running down into, like, the secret basement area lair place. Kat sustains some minor cuts and bruises along the way, apparently, but she's more or less alright. Oh, and the owner lady and her lawyer have, like, broken back into the house. Because you remember how this whole thing started because they were told there was a treasure in the house, and they want the ghost gone so that they can get the treasure? Remember that plot point that we haven't heard about in 45 minutes, at least? That's coming back into play. They ride this long contraption thing down into a very sketchy looking mine shaft, and they find the Lazarus. So 2 questions I have about Casper's dad. 1, if he invented this thing, why didn't he just try to use it to bring Casper to life while he was still alive? Like, wasn't that the whole point? And 2, why is the dad not kicking around? Like, Casper didn't cross over. He stayed around just so that the dad wouldn't be lonely, but then as soon as the dad died, he, like, dipped. He was like, bye, kid, and then he left. That's not really fair. Oh, and of course this thing only has enough juice for 1 turning back of a ghost to a full live human.
Just enough for 1.
Very convenient. But Kat tries to help Casper use the machine to turn himself into a real boy again, and then the lawyer man just kind of yoinks it out from under them, like, while they're doing it. I don't know how they don't see him, but he gets away with it, and so it doesn't work. Poor Casper.
Am I alive?
And then this is where stuff gets really crazy. The owner of the house, the lady, the mean lady, she realizes that she now has this thing that'll allow her to turn one ghost back into a human. So she decides that she's gonna try to kill her lawyer so that he can be a ghost and just phase through the wall into the vault and just get the treasure out, and then she'll revive him.
Damn it, Dibs! This won't hurt a bit!
Like, she went from one to murder really, really quick. Whatever this guy's getting paid, it's not enough. And then she accidentally drives herself off a cliff. Uh-oh. And the lawyer's just like, huh, guess I don't have to deal with that shady client anymore. And then she's apparently just a giant ghost.
Not so fast, little man.
She's just like, and he's just like, damn it. Meanwhile, the dad is bar hopping with the other three ghosts, and they decide, hey, you know, we should kill him, and then he can be a part of our ghost group.
We've been the ghostly trio long enough. Time to make it a quartet.
Again, these characters decide to murder just really, really quickly in this movie. Takes very little to motivate them into murder. But then the dad, who's just drunk off of his ass, gives a whole lecture about how much he appreciates the three of them, and then kisses them? And then they're just like, man, we can't kill him now.
What a sweetheart.
But then the dad walks out the door into a construction hole that is right outside the bar door and dies. He's a ghost now. I'm not kidding. Meanwhile, the owner lady, who is dead now, she goes into the vault as a ghost. She gets the treasure out. And then the lawyer, after she tried to murder him multiple times, comes back with the potion to help her, which is very nice of him. And she's mad at him about it.
Dibs! What are you doing? This is no time to shave!
Helping you, remember?
Like, dude, slow your roll a little bit. Also, she gets hair when none of the other ghosts do. I don't know why. Meanwhile, all the guests from Cat's Class show up for the Halloween party, and she's just like, oh yeah, I was hosting a party that I didn't volunteer to do. I have to deal with that now, too. But, like, all of the ghost shenanigans going on downstairs really, creates a certain ambiance for her party, so it is kind of cool. It works out for her in that way. But then, she and Casper have gotten the potion thing that they need to make the machine work, back from the bad guys, so she's got that going for her too. But then remember how the guy who asked her out was really just put up to it by the mean girl to like play a prank on her? Well, they're sneaking into her house through like a back window to set all that up. So, you know, she's really having like a, you know, it's a juxtaposition between normal teenager problems and like teenagers that live in a haunted house in a 90s movie problems, you know? So she's got a lot going on. Meanwhile, the lawyer is having a breakdown.
You can haunt me all you want, but it's gonna be in a great, big, expensive house and a little dog called Carrigan. A bitch just like you.
Geez, dude. Tell us how you really feel. Yeah, so she throws him out the window and he presumably dies, but he doesn't come back as a ghost. Everybody else gets to come back as a ghost. I don't know why he didn't. And then Casper and Kat get owner lady ghost person to admit that she doesn't have any unfinished business.
All ghosts have unfinished business. That's why they don't cross over.
Unjust perfect.
And then she gets forcibly sent into the light, which is a weird resolution for really any movie. I've never really seen a kids movie where they're like, see this bad person that did all these terrible things? Well, for punishment, they get to go to heaven now. And so finally, Kat is trying to help Casper. She's gonna put him back in the machine and turn him into a human once and for all. And lo and behold, her dead dad shows up. Okay, he gets hair too. I guess 2 of the ghosts get to have hair in the afterlife. I don't know how these things work.
Dad, it's me. It's Kat.
Kat.
So her dad doesn't remember her, and then she reminds him that they used to pinky swear on everything, and he's just like, oh yeah, I do remember, I have a kid. And then Casper's just like, okay, you can have the potion and be alive, which is very nice of Casper.
Come on, Dr. Harvey. You need this more than I do.
Good job, Casper.
Dad?
Oh, Cat.
It's really just a roller coaster of a night for everybody, isn't it? So while Kat goes to join the party, which has started without her...
Cool.
Thank you!
I'm not really sure what their plan was, because, like, they're dressing up in this scary costume, so, like, maybe I'm missing something, but I'm not entirely sure why he had to ask her out to humiliate her. I guess just to stand her up? I don't know. I don't know what the plan was. It was mean either way. You shouldn't be mean to people. And then they just go flying out of the house. It's very funny. But then to add another twist to this already very twisty plot line, Kat's dead mom comes and visits Casper and is like, hey, thanks for bringing my husband back to life. I'm gonna turn you into a human until 10 o'clock tonight. Huh? Very confusing, but good for Casper. So he goes and dances with Kat at the party to a very 90s love ballad. They're floating off the floor. They're having a grand old time.
Casper?
She's like, oh, dude, you look really different with skin and hair. Cool. Everybody else at the party is just like, we don't know what's going on, but we're here for it. To top off the dad's bizarre night, he talks with his dead wife. It's a real tearjerker scene.
You and Kat loved me so well when I was alive that I have no unfinished business.
So sad. I mean, they're a little too young for that, I think, but okay. Am I turning into, like, a mom? I feel like I'm turning into a mom. You kids are too young for that. You gotta make room for Jesus. Yeah, but then Casper turns back into a ghost, scares everybody out of the party. It's kind of epic. And then it's kind of a happy ending for everybody. I mean, after all the sad stuff happens, but, you know, Casper and the 3 ghosts who are now, I guess they're good ghosts now. They're all living in the house. Kat and her dad are staying in the house, and they're just having a grand old time. A big haunted house family. And that's the end of the movie. Yay! I feel like have I been slipping in my seat? Have I been, like, sitting way far down in frame this whole time? I'm so sorry. Oh, I forgot to mention. It's kind of important. You remember how I said all I remember is the baseball glove, the thing? Yeah, the whole treasure, the treasure that was there the whole time wasn't money. It was just Casper's old glove and his baseball signed by some baseball player from a long time ago.
It's autographed by Duke Snyder, the Brooklyn Dodgers.
I don't know baseball. But yeah, that was the treasure the whole time. Isn't that cute? And also super infuriating for those money-hungry bad guys. So win all around, double win. But yeah, that's the end of the movie, guys. I hope you liked this video. I hadn't seen this movie in a very long time, so it was nice to kind of revisit it. And thank you again to C3PO. Thank you again, my lovely, lovely viewer who recommended it. It's a really good recommendation, so thank you so much. Thank you for supporting this channel like you always do. But yeah, that's it for this video, guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing, anything and everything you do to support this channel. I just want to let you guys know how much I appreciate it. It means the absolute world to me. And yeah, you guys just make my day, so thank you, every single one of you. If you're new here and you're a fan of nonsense, maybe consider sticking around because I post nonsense all the time. And remember, my name is Avery. I'm a YouTuber if you say so, because thanks to you guys, this is technically a YouTube channel. Bye!